My dad showed up with a pregnant fiancée who's younger than me, asked me to be in their wedding. Then begged for $30,000. He's still married to my mom. I told him to get lost. Hi guys, I am lucky to get a lot of support on this site and I am so sorry to be back so soon again, but I have found that writing things out actually makes me feel a bit better, and I am on the verge of tears. My other posts outline everything, but my brother is adopted and I am a miracle baby. My mother Celine raised us after our dad Anakin walked out and after she passed away, and my grandfather disowned me for being queer. It was really just my brother Aaron and I. Francesca, I've used fake names for basically everyone. After grandfather passed away, it came out that Aaron and I will inherit most everything and Anakin gets some items here and there, but none of the actual estate. In some odd butt timing, after decades, Anakin reached out. We met with him, and it's clear he sees Aaron as inferior to me, his real child. It's important to note that after this, Aaron and I got a lawyer and went over every detail of my grandfather's will. Every aspect, every clause. Who knew wills had freaking plural clauses? Christ. But I know the gist of the will without the legalese. From there, I told him Aaron and I are each other's family, and to freak off not those words but the gist. This past Friday, I was out on a date with my boyfriend Han at this bar I am a regular at. I was a hostess then waitress with them back when old management and owners had it. There is new management and staff now with very few OGs, and this is important. It was my first time bringing Han there and introducing him publicly to people in my circle as my boo. I was being especially silly and lovey with him. The GM took pics of us, we took selfies, there was live music, crawfish, crab boils, etc. It was a party of a time. We had been there for 2-ish hours and I heard someone call my name. I turned thinking it was staff or one of the other regulars, and it was Anakin. He was smiling at us and had a woman with him, and she pointed at me, and she ran up to me and hugged the ever-loving snot out of me and gave me a kiss on both cheeks, and in between was saying, "I've dreamt of meeting you for so long." Now Han and I Ubered so I was tipsy, and so stunned I hardly reacted. Thank God for Han who stood up and pulled me to him out of her grasp and just looked at my dad like, "Anakin, what is all this?" My father explained that this woman is Giselle, his wife. I did a double take. This was news to me. Giselle also looked to be my age at the oldest. I was so damn confused and asked why he was even there, and he laughed and said something about us kids not being the only one who can use social media. I assume he somehow follows me on Insta or Facebook or Twitter. I will not call out X, etc. I started to cry. I just wanted to have a normal date with my boyfriend and enjoy life for one faux the first times, and Han had convinced me it would be fun. The thought of bringing him to my home, the restaurant, to meet my family, the staff came to mind, and I jokingly said that as we have been dating for a little bit and things are going well, I guess you have to meet my family and get my Nana's the GM there lead a blessing. My father tried to come and hug me, telling me not to cry or he'll start up too, and he thought this was a beautiful moment. Han stepped between us and Anakin, just put his hands up and said he wanted to talk. I calmed down and bit and noticed people were staring, so I just told everyone to sit and said to my father, "Talk, just say it now. I am on a date and would like to continue it." My father thought that was an invite to a double date and excited announced it and then walked to the bartender and said, "All of our drinks are on his tab," ordered a round and introduced himself to everyone as Frankie's dad, using the nickname my friends use for me. Meanwhile, Giselle was asking a million questions. Who is Han? Are we married? Do we have kids? What do I enjoy? Am I artistic like my mother or more logic like my father? And more, I can't recall right now. When my dad returned with drinks, all martinis, which no shade is not something to drink or order in public, and cheered to family so loudly that others at the bar and some staff even joined in. I felt so trapped. So I raised my glass. Han did not. I will try to make this briefer as I am rambling. It was all so awful. I just hate myself for the way I handled it all. My father and Giselle are not yet married. Why? That would be because his ex only just recently signed divorce papers. Yes, he has an ex. And now that she signed the papers, they can get legally married, but refer to each other as one another's spouse because they have been together for almost a decade. I found out Giselle is younger than me at 31. This is when my father says that as his firstborn Aaron is older than me, he wanted to ask me first to be in their wedding coming up in September. I was so stunned by all of this that I asked about the ex. They told me he married, and when I really started picking at the timeline, he got married either the year of, if not the year after, he left my mother and us. He then went on to have 4 kids with her before their divorce. He was gleefully telling me about my siblings and how much they will enjoy seeing me walk down the aisle with them at his wedding. He wants me with my other brother, as we are closest in age, etc. I need you to know this only because of the ick, but the timeline math doesn't math. He left his ex-wife 8 years ago, but he and Giselle have been together for nearly a decade. I had pulled out my phone after an Amber Alert caused it to beep and used that as a chance to use the recording app Aaron installed due to issues with his ex-long story in my other posts and hit record. I then calmly put my phone down on the table face down and reiterated what was already said and waited until they said, "Yeah, that's about it." And I went with it and turned to Giselle. "So how did you two meet?" I was calm and smiling and acted almost eager to know. Han later told me it confused the hill out of him until he listened to what I was asking them. They explained their bullcrap love story, sprinkling in that my dad thought of me and brought me up constantly, so one day she found me online, as I do advertise myself as I am a performer, etc. They followed my life but kept a distance and are so elated to have me at the wedding and to be there to welcome my newest baby sibling. Yes, she is pregnant. Bingo. I then asked, "What about Aaron?" And she turned to my dad and said, "Is Aaron the—" And he cut her off saying, "Yes, my adopted son." And said he is working on a very special gift for Aaron and wants him to be best man, but he realizes he hurt Aaron before, so wants to bring him a gift as a peace offering. He explained that in his day, adopted kids were considered just that, adopted kids, not blood. It was a man's shame to not have biological children. He then had to go on about my birth story, which I will spare you. Giselle explained that he is Hanai, which apparently means adopted. Not sure, but I asked her how it was spelled twice because I thought I was mishearing the word, but it turned out I just didn't know it. Han eventually rubbed my back and asked me to dance live band was playing, and I agreed. And then from there, he asked me what I wanted to do. I said I think I heard all I needed, and he nodded and told me to get to the car. He told me later he came up with some excuse about me feeling sick after so much seafood and that he was going to take me home. We ended up continuing our date at my house. Giselle texted me and asked me if I could go dress shopping with her and that she invited my sisters as well. She herself seems really sweet and I hate to be cruel to her, but just haven't responded. I won't say I actively avoided my brother, but I had made myself scarce as I have been so depressed about everything. I did tell him our father crashed my date with his wife and that I needed to take a day, but let's have brunch Sunday. So I spent yesterday sleeping in, going to a movie, and going back to the restaurant to explain the situation in full to the staff in case Anakin wanted to pull a similar stunt and have a few drinks alone to think. Today I had brunch with my brother, and when he arrived and saw my face, he ordered us a carafe of mimosas and jokingly said, "I looked like Zoe after Wash took a spear RIP to our leaf in the wind." This is a TV movie reference for anyone confused. I just reminded him of our promise of no lies and no secrets between us, and he nodded. So I then told him everything. He only interrupted to ask questions and I explained all I knew. He asked about if he was mentioned and I told him everything as clearly but gently as I could. He looked so freaking sad at that but shrugged it off. I mentioned the upcoming wedding and he chuckled a bit and said something like, "That bastard really can't let you go, eh?" And said it was no wonder as I am an amazing person. I could tell that as much as he meant it, he was hurting. I showed him the recording app and the recording, and as he was listening to some of it, Giselle texted again and it popped up. He handed me the phone to go to the bathroom and I ignored her text again. I know I eventually have to deal with her and Anakin, but God, I don't want to. I don't even know where to begin to. But when Aaron returned to our table, it was clear he had been crying. He said he just remembered he and his girlfriend had a date and he has to go. Which is bullcrap. His girlfriend is staying with me and she told me as I was leaving to meet him that she is working out of the city and won't be home until late tonight. I know I am doing better about not keeping things from my brother, but he is hurting so much. I want to throw Anakin face first into cacti, but as a pacifist, I can only really focus on how to deal with this all peacefully and as minimally painful for everyone as possible. I miss my mom. She would know what to do. She would be able to help Aaron and he would open up to her. But she isn't here. He only has me, and I am crying in a brunch restaurant with a giant butt carafe of beer mimosa and a pity crepe from the waitress typing alone to Reddit. I don't want to hate my father. I don't want to hate anyone ever. I firmly believe hate is never the answer, only the problem. But I can't get the look of absolute deviation on my brother's face when he realized Anakin didn't even see him as his kid on top of having abandoned us. How he looked away from me at the lie that his girlfriend was waiting for him on a date. How quickly he walked away after we hugged. His whole energy was off. All because our father is so much of a rotting milkshake that he can't man up and talk to my brother. I am rambling again, so I will just post this doom-scroll Reddit post and drink this wretched concoction called a manmosa. Update. My father is in legal trouble now. I think I mentioned that I didn't think he and my mother fully got a divorce. Well, guess what? He didn't sign anything. Meaning his second marriage to his unknowing affair partner is null and void as they were married when he was already married to my mother. My father had his new soon-to-be wife Giselle reach out to me. I am no lawyer and don't know enough to verify, but what I am told is that he took out loans and got other benefits from their city and state as a married man to a person who is not his legal wife. By the time my mother filed for their marriage to be dissolved due to him not signing divorce papers, he racked up a lot of debts. She didn't pay them, and now that she's gone, he has to. So I was right, Anakin wants money. Giselle asked if I could spot him about $30K, and he would pay me back over time. I said no. She became upset and begged me as she didn't want to get into a marriage starting with debt. I said that I don't know either of them, that grandfather left money to me to help my future not give it out. That's when he nice mask fell and she got very angry. She told me I am a brat, that we are the same age, I am older than her, and I should act my age, not my shoe size, and that family is important. She said, "You know I really tried with you, but if you're going to be a selfish C-word, then fine," and hung up. Turns out she called my brother straight after, and he also turned her down, and she said something like, "I guess you really aren't his kid," as if to hurt him. But he told me that he kinda took it as a good thing and told her, "No, I'm Celine's, our mom." She let drop that our father's surprise gift to Aaron was his birth parents. They've moved to Canada and will be attending Anakin and Giselle's wedding. They want to meet him. She was excited to tell him that Anakin has been talking about it, saying, finally, his real parents can deal with him. So I told Giselle in no uncertain terms that she can take the stick she pulls, put my father's butt to whack everyone with right up her own. As she is just one of a long line of cheap thrills my father will tire of eventually, and I will be blocking the both of them. And that $30K he needs, I have half the mind to donate it to the adoption agency Aaron came from so they can afford better screenings of the parents. Then I said, think about it. He wasn't a good husband to my mother or his affair partner, and he wasn't a good father to my brother and I or the siblings you enthusiastically told us about. You expect the same man to be a good husband to you and a good father to your child. You must be flavors of stupid. Then I said, if she comes to her senses, we will see about getting her help to leave him, but until then, never contact us. Pretty soon after, Aaron and I filed no contact orders for both of them. My half-siblings from his second marriage are reaching out on Facebook, but I haven't looked at it as I am in a new job and preparing for a move, so I frankly have enough on my plate. Oh, fun caveat. We found in grandfather's will that my father only gets what he was allotted if he was still married to mom, which he wasn't, so he gets nothing as mom filed singularly. Both sure how that works years later. Aaron and I are both still kinda reeling, but we're okay. If anything, we are closer than ever. He dreads the idea of his birth parents reaching out to him possibly, but is also curious. He said we will jump the bridge when we come to it. It's crossed that bridge, man. We've been laughing and having a good Sunday brunch with one another, and our partners so Giselle and Anakin can kick rocks. I know I sound mean and I don't ever want to be, but I mean it with my whole chest. Story 2. Jealous boyfriend tries to crash girls' night out. My 23F best friend's 23F boyfriend 25M is so jealous he wants to ruin our girls' night out. My best friend is Angie, 23 female, who I've known since high school. I started dating Angie's brother Rob, 27 male, in May of this year. Even though Angie encouraged me to get with her brother, I think we both knew our relationship would change a bit as a result of me dating him. Obviously, since I've been with Rob, I've spent the majority of my free time with him. It seems like we can't get enough of each other sometimes. I started to feel like I was being a terrible friend to her. I told Rob how I was feeling. He suggested Angie and I needed a day together to hang out. He went and bought both of us gift certificates for a nail salon that we both like so we can get mani-pedis. Then he told me that after that, Angie and I should go out to dinner and hang out like we did before I started dating him. He said he felt bad too because sometimes it seemed like he stole his sister's best friend. So I called Angie up and told her what Rob had said, and she was really excited to do this. We eventually included two of our other girlfriends in the plans to go out for dinner, then go to a club after. Rob was cool with our plans. He and his friends are going to hang out at his house and play board games for the night. Angie's boyfriend Derek is not as enthusiastic about the whole thing. When we were at Rob's house for a Labor Day cookout, he asked Rob in front of me if he felt comfortable letting his woman go out to a club without him. Rob jokingly responded, "Who's she going to run off with when she's got all this waiting at home for her?" Now, I know Rob said that as a joke, but I do feel that way. I think I've got such a great boyfriend and we have such a good relationship, I'd never even be tempted. Plus, I know Rob trusts me and isn't the jealous type. Derek didn't think it was funny and kept pressing Rob about him letting me go out. I broke in and said Rob isn't letting me do anything. I'm a big girl and so is Angela. Now Derek is insisting that he wants to come along. Rob is really annoyed and says he's acting like a punk. I talked to Angie and she says I should talk Rob into coming too. I don't want Rob coming and he doesn't want to come either. He's looking forward to having his friends over so they can play board games and talk trash to each other. I even asked if he'd invite Derek, and he said I don't want that douche over here. I've always suspected that Rob didn't really like Derek, but now I know for certain. He only puts up with him for his sister's sake. Rob is also annoyed that Angie just doesn't tell Derek she's going out, and that's that. He also said if Derek asks him about going along one more time, he's going to tell him to grow up. He feels like Derek not trusting his sister is an insult to her. I've talked to our other two friends who are planning on joining us, and neither of them wants Derek tagging along. How do I tell Angie politely that no one wants her boyfriend there? If she decides not to go, it ruins the whole reason I wanted to do this whole night in the first place. So Angie and I could spend some quality time together. TLDR, my best friend's boyfriend, is insisting on tagging along on our girls' night out, and no one wants him there. Update: I posted about this situation last week, and I thought I'd give an update on what happened last weekend. Angela put her foot down and told Derek that she didn't want him coming along with us on our girls' night out. Derek gave her an ultimatum that either he came along with us or they were through. I had a talk with Angela on Saturday morning and she told me about the ultimatum and said she was tired of Derek thinking he could run her life. So she and I went and had our nails done on Saturday afternoon with the gift cards that my boyfriend Rob had bought for us. If you didn't read my original post, Rob is Angie's brother. He said he sometimes feels like he stole his sister's best friend, so he bought us the gift cards so we'd be able to spend some quality time together. Saturday evening, Angela, me, and three of our other girlfriends went out to dinner together. During dinner, Derek was blowing up Angela's phone with texts. She tried to ignore them, but eventually she responded that she was still going out with us and that was that. We all went to a club and had some drinks and danced until around midnight. Our friend Jenny was our designated driver and she dropped us off at our places. She was going to drop me at Rob's house last. We went to drop Angela off at her apartment, and Derek was waiting in the parking lot. He started screaming at Angela and at us, saying that we were encouraging her to be unfaithful to him. We were all pretty scared, and I wouldn't let Angie out of the car. So Jenny took me and Angie over to Rob's house. Rob had some of his friends over Saturday night for a game night. When we got there, his friend Tony was still there. Rob was really pissed when he heard how Derek had acted. Him and Tony took Angela back to her place. I guess they had some words with Derek, and he ended up leaving her place. Rob insisted that Angie should stay that night at his house with us. He was worried that Derek might come back, so now Angel has told Derek that he needs to leave her alone, or she's going to call the police. He tried to apologize for how he acted, but Angela told him they are through. So far, Derek has left her alone aside from saying he needs to come to her place to get some of his stuff, which she agreed to as long as Rob and her dad are there when he comes. I know Angela feels bad that her relationship didn't work out, but I think she's better off without a guy like that in her life. TLDR. My best friend's boyfriend gave her an ultimatum about going out with her friends. She went anyway, and he got aggressive with her about it. She dumped him because of it.